This segment of DelmarvaLife is sponsored by Coastal Hospice.
Right now, the largest population of baby boomers in American history are making that transition toward retirement. That means many are facing the monumental task of emptying their homes. You know what I'm talking about, downsizing. Well, our next guest hosts a PBS show where he and his team sort through attics, basements, and decades of memories to find a few important items that the family can no longer locate. It's called Legacy List with Matt Paxton. And April 11th, Matt is the keynote speaker at the Excellence in Quality of Life Awards presented by Coastal Hospice. And we are so fortunate enough to catch up with Matt Paxton ahead of his trip to Delmarva. Matt, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, looking forward to you coming in April. But first, I want to talk a little bit about what you do. Tell us about Legacy List. How did this all come about?
I got the best job in the world. I get to go into people's houses and go through their attics and hear the stories about all their stuff. Most people know me from that TV show Hoarders. I was the cleanup expert on there for 15 years. And half of that job is just visiting with people in their attics and hearing the stories. And that's what Legacy List is about. It's about it's on PBS, and it's not as extreme as Hoarders, but it's just as personal and just as emotional. And I'll be telling a lot of those stories when I'm in town, and really just sharing, the joy of all the people that lived in our lives and why we keep all their stuff.
Yeah, that has to be pretty amazing to hear those stories.
Oh, it's amazing. Like I was telling a lady, I had a lady the other day, we found a 44-star flag in her attic, and she couldn't really figure out how she had it. And my team was able to do some research, and we found out her grandfather was a train conductor the day that Utah became a state.
Wow.
And the guy, it's like any grandpa, he took it off the train and put it in his trunk, and we found it 90 years later in the attic.
Wow. Obviously, as you mentioned, a totally different vibe than Hoarders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Much more positive, much more exciting. And I think, it's one of the reasons Coastal Hospice has brought me in. I mean, we want to there's a lot of positive things happening at end of life, and we want to really, highlight that and tell the great stories.
Yeah. Now, in addition to being a television host, a speaker, you are also an author. Keep the Memories, Lose the Stuff. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I wrote the book 3 years ago in partnership with AARP, and it's everything I've learned over the last 20 years. And it'll walk you through truly how to empty your house on your own. It'll talk you through time frames, mental mindset of how to actually do it, and it has lots of tips of how to do it. But I can tell you right now, the punchline is share the stories. People try to just try to push through the house and operationally get rid of everything. So many of us are paralyzed by our stuff. And I wrote this book so it can really help you free yourself from this stuff and live the awesome life that we're supposed to live.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we are so excited, along with Coastal Hospice, to host you at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center during the Excellence in Quality of Life Awards. What can we look forward to in your talk?
Believe it or not, lots of celebration, lots of laugh, lots of inspiration, and a little bit of tips of how to get started on your clean out. Hospice is a large part of my career. I got into this because my dad, my stepdad, and both my grandfathers passed away, and I actually got to spend the last week of my dad's life with him with the hospice team. And I saw just the beauty and the magic that happens with that team. And this really, truly is a celebration. I'll be telling a ton of funny stories that happen. And this is meant to be a celebration and a positive experience. So I'm really excited. It's actually one of my favorite speaks to give.
Oh, well, I am so excited to catch up with you. It's happening April 11th at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center. It's the Excellence in Quality of Life Awards. We're going to have all the information on our website, DelmarvaLife.com. Matt, we're looking forward to seeing you then.
Thanks so much. We'll see you on the 11th.
All right. Sounds great.